What are you booming about?
Nothing. Just it was
exactly.
It was a pump.
It was nothing.
It was a
okay.
wow.
Just kidding, Frodan. It was good. It was good.
My feelings, they hurt.
It was audacious.
Nice SAT word. I don't remember what it means, but I remember it was an SAT word. Guys, welcome to Daybreak, where is the next site for battle between these two players. In the top right, we have from Team Fnatic Raid Call, it is Oz. Oz is a great Protoss player, but when he remembers Warp Gate. When he doesn't remember Warp Gate, guess what? He's not that good at executing builds from that point on. But like any Protoss player, I would love to see like MC or like Rain or like Seed win like a lot of games in GSL without using Warp Gate. That'd be really cool.
Gotta show them my build.
Yeah. The Gretorp no Warp Gate build.
My PvP
Oz,
build.
did you coach Oz for this matchup? Andre?
Hey man, I only do that in PvP, okay? And it's been winning against.
What's so interesting is that Oz picked Daybreak against TLO, who was the Blue Zerg in the bottom left, playing on Bumblebee's account. Bumblebee is the Team Liquid player manager, also an avid fan of Dota 2. I heard actually Bumblebee's really good at Dota 2. That was just from the grapevine.
I'd love to test that one of these days.
Andre's been playing Dota 2. What do you think? Like, why would Oz pick Daybreak against Zerg? Isn't this like exactly a good map for just a Zerg turtle meta as
I have
we've been
no
seeing?
clue for him. I always feel like Daybreak is super great for Zerg. Whenever I get this on ladder, I'm like, oh gosh, yes. Thank the Lord. I have the best possible situation over here. And it's because of the wide open areas. Honestly, in the middle of the map, you're able to actually surround your opponent. Additionally, taking bases are a lot farther for pushes. I mean, like every single base that you take, the third base, it's a really complicated push. You have to go over here and then push all the way across map. I can't even do it in one scroll. You have to push all the way in across map just to attack this area. And by that time, it's a small little area. You could get spine crawlers. You could prepare for something, and that's why it's just so powerful, Frodan.
I absolutely agree. The distance definitely comes into play. Now, Oz, he's up to something sneaky, man. He's the second pylon, like right behind the mineral line. That's got to mean that Hex going to be hidden there somewhere. TLO's definitely going to check there. Or maybe Oz mind games and says, I want you to check there, but realistically nothing's there.
Oh.
But another early gas taken by TLO.
Yeah, that has a lot of implications. You can actually do...
You can get speed out for sure.
Yeah, you can get speed out for sure. There are a couple tech builds maybe, but normally when you get the gas this early, you're not actually going for some huge tech. You want to focus on getting your queens out as fast as possible. You want to get your, your queens, drones, more drones. So you're going to have your drones on gas. So what that tells me is it's going to be very gas light. Like you're not going to be able to do super huge amounts of... I gotta stop predicting TLO. I don't know why I keep doing this, because he can actually flip the switch.
It's kind of fun though, isn't it, to kind of say what TLO can or can't do? Okay. And then it's kind of like locked.
I'm just gonna put down here. He's gonna remove his drones directly after 100 gas. Only get metabolic boost. The Zerglings will be used just to deny as much as possible, because a lot of these Protosses on Daybreak are going for these 7-8 minute nexuses. So in that case, he's able to actually shut that down. With metabolic boost, he's also able to stop a lot of 4-gate aggression before it even happens. That way you can't get your pylons up in a very nice spot. But he's still mining gas, so that's why I have no clue what he's doing.
No, I think the first part of that is 100% spot on, because I know some people might criticize the player that I'm crediting this to, but Destiny made a pretty good explanation to post one time of why speed early on ZVP will save you so much heartache, especially if you're trying to learn the early nuances in terms of early pressure, because you can see probes, you can scout the pylon, you can chase the probe, and a lot of times the probe sometimes barely escapes because the Zealot and Stalker is kind of like protecting it just in time, and then the pylon always just seems to get up. And that's going to eliminate a lot of early stress for you. Although one thing you're absolutely right is, what is TLO going to do with the excessive gas? He's got an extra bank. In fact, he can't really spend gas on anything else other than a Baneling Nest at the moment, or Lair. So I'm very curious to see where he goes. But in the meantime, we see Oz again electing for a very early Twilight Council. Did he start Warp Gate? Yes, he did, Andre.
Looks like we got a game, Frodan.
We have a game's already better than last game. You're supposed to learn from your mistakes, and I think Oz did.
Yes, sir. Single Stalker and Zealot Pressure. Look at this 4th hatchery. Such a weird position. Zerglings will pop out, and you can see Metabolic Boost is already finished. It's these 2 units are basically dead. TLO should keep a close eye on them just to make sure he can catch up.
TLO is actually droning. He's not worried about the Zealot Stalker at all. In fact, I think he realizes the feign aggression because he sees extra gases at the natural. So I think he knows. Yeah, even if he pokes with Zealot Stalker, he can't be doing too much unless he's committing to a mass gateway attack, which is not what Oz is doing.
Is Oz? What is he doing with this? Just getting +2?
Oz, he could be squeezing out. Yeah, he's squeezing out a really quick +2. Adding on a few more gateways. He can be going for Blink Robo, which is pretty standard as well. Has that option, but the fast third is also a similar option, but we're coming up on the time whether or not he's going to or not. Instead, he drops a few more gateways. So Oz going to really go for a high aggression. I do like this hatchery, though. It kind of connects creep, saves you the stress of, do I spread creep out for my third or kind of connect my bases? You can do both.
Yeah, I actually like that a lot, too.
It's kind of clever.
Yeah. But right now, let me check the income. 64 drones, that's perfect for TLO. He shouldn't really get too many more after this. Maybe, a couple here and there just so that he can constantly make more buildings. But that being said, I just don't know what's going on with these builds, man. Like, it's actually throwing me
TLO
for
or
both
Oz?
of these players.
Yeah, TLO's going about this, I guess, gateway immortal attack very interestingly. He doesn't. Yeah. First of all, he squeezes out an observer first. Normally, if you want to go for an attack, you push out the immortals as quick as possible. Second of all, his gateway count is kind of low. Usually go for 7, 8 gates, but it's because he squeezed out a +2 instead. And +2 is actually very valuable on an immortal because it does do 60 damage a pop, and it just generally helps you take out spine crawlers much quicker.
That's right. Still, I'm fine with 55. I mean, that's not a big deal either. I don't know why there's such a huge thing for +2, although Oz would probably know better than me.
Oh, he's squeezing out a quick +3. Oh, he's doing a Creator Prime build. Okay. I don't know why it took me so long to realize that. The way Creator Prime likes to go about is squeeze the sickest, earliest +3 attack, and then go for a very loose Protoss army that is not based upon Colossus, because you have +3 Stalkers that control the map so well, and then you mass pump out Stalkers. And Creator Prime uses to perfection in TSL 4, where he claimed his victory over Life, who is now in the GSL finals. And the way Life tried to respond to it was like do a bunch of crazy Roach aggression, but it actually holds very nicely against the Max Roach, because you can see you have a pretty decent sentry count as you can squeeze out the third mortal just in time, and +3 immortals absolutely destroys like any kind of Roach aggression. The only thing is you have to be in position, and Oz might be caught out here.
166 to 115 at this point. And as you can see, TLO is putting on a lot of aggression.
Ooh.
This is going to be a pretty fast max out, but I think aggression in this situation is probably the toughest thing that you can do. Just because, as you said, the +3 is lining up really, really nicely with this aggression. And as soon as he actually attacks into this, it's like your army will melt. But I think what TLO is trying to do is just take advantage of this one time where he knows he has the economic advantage on his opponent. He saw that the third base has been taken until late, and he's saying, well, I'm just going to have more units than you, and thereby giving me the chance to just out-position you. And it doesn't matter of your upgrades. It doesn't matter your composition. I'm just going to be attacking stuff, and you don't have enough material to actually counter.
Oz out of position, and a big thing is that Drop has been researched as well, so Oz not even dropping force fields to deny the Roaches to attack the third, and now he has to recall his units. +3 is finishing up, but he's not going to be able to be in position to finish or to be able to defend against the oncoming drop from Roaches and Zerglings. The third is going to drop as well. TLO able to snipe it is huge, because now he can back off, drop the main, and if the units run, he can continue to work into the natural. Oz has all the right units, but not in the right spot.
Oh my gosh, beautifully done by TLO, catching his opponent out of position. That's key whenever you're going up against any Protoss army. If you can catch their units out of position, you're in a winning line. And now this third base, oh my gosh.
Look at the natural ramp, Andre. He's blocking the Ray with Changelings, making sure units can't even walk up the ramp, using a Changeling force field. How clever is that from TLO? Always a man to use a little bit of finesse and style. Mortals and Stalker trying to make their way up the ramp, but the Changeling bouncers finally give way, but the damage already has been done, because now Oz, sure, he has a strong army, but TLO already has a transition in mind. He can continue to put on discretion because Immortals are they lack mobility, and Oz doesn't have Blink ready yet, so he doesn't have the ability to control space like he should.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate, but you know what? Oz is going to be able to clean everything up. And after this, I mean, he has one attack, basically, Frodan. If he fails with his attack, he's dead. And already, I mean, TLO should know that. He should put down a ton of Spine Crawlers and just ready for this incoming attack. Because, you know, if Oz, I feel like if he plays macro from here, it's not going to be really that effective. I mean, he knows he's behind. Look at this. Contamination. Not contaminant. Corruption being dealt onto this.
Contamination.
Is it? Yeah, it is.
Corruptor is corrupt.
Oh, my gosh.
Fun fact of the day.
I double... Son of a pain.
One thing you're absolutely right is that if Oz does play macro, it's going to be tough because TLO already has so much map control. The only thing that I think is that when you do this kind of aggression, your fourth base should actually be really safe, but I think TLO was just making sure no counterattack was possible. That's why he was being really safe. One thing I do have to commend Oz is that he didn't lose a lot of probes. Actually, he's ahead in workers, so it's very easy to kind of like lose track of everything while trying to defend, and you kind of lose your economy from there. But once Oz establishes 3 next side back, I guess everything should resume. But again, he just doesn't really have control. TLO's everywhere. He's still trying to run by, draw his opponent's attention away, buying up time for Infestors to come out, because Infestors are awesome against Sentry Immortal Stalker if you can get enough of them.
Yeah, it is a little bit weird as well that Hive Tech hasn't been started yet, but I understand where TLO is coming from. TLO is thinking to himself, I need Infestors in order to actually establish position in this middle ground. Infestors are a great way to actually remove all the sentries off the field, obviously do a lot of damage, but those fungal growths are just so powerful, and the Infested Tyrant, I should mention that as well. So once he's able to establish this position, then he can take his bases, and I guess that's when he techs. There it is, Hive. Yeah, so he's going to do this directly after Infestors, but he shouldn't be attacking into their Frodan. Oh my god! Segmenting half of the army. This is going to take all of these units out. Look at how fast TLO loses all of these roaches.
Oh, but he doesn't have an answer to the Infested Terrans. The Infestors get there just in time. And with that much DPS, the trade is actually very good for TLO if he can kill the important things like Immortals, but the Immortals actually survive. Look at that, 21, 22 kills. And almost survived, but +3. Very effective, and that's kind of the power behind this build from Oz/Creator. Now Oz finally transitioned to Colossus. His gas counts are finally starting to reset now that his Nexus is back up. Needs to kind of put some probes back on those geysers, but Oz senses some momentum. I think TLO should be fine, though, because he kept his Infestors alive.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, though, because he still needs time to actually get a lot more energy on those Infestors. And he's not making that many more Infestors directly after this. Infestors are definitely a choice that is, I think, one of the strongest when you're just macroing. But when you're, like, anticipating some sort of attack, I think roaches are a must. You can't just go Zerglings and Infestors for some sort of like rebound, some sort of reinforcement wave, just because it's very easy to just get sentries and then you're dead. Like, you can't do anything. The Infestors won't deal nearly as much damage. And remember, I can keep making more sentries and force fielding out all your Zerglings and then just have this unstoppable ball because you can't congregate enough units to deal with that big force. So how it stands right now, I actually think Oz is ahead. Even though TLO is on 4 base and he's done just so much damage in the early stage.
Well, we'll find out what happens to that. Oh, he got a huge chunk of the Stalkers fungled as well. More fungals can follow it. The Infested Terrans are also dropping a great Roach Concave, but there are a lot of Immortals still left, but they're immediately getting sniped. And just like that, a trade for TLO. He backs off, trading Roaches for Protoss units. Oz also does have to start thinking about taking a 4th base if he wants to really be able to fund things like Colossus as well as other important units like a Mothership, if he chooses to go for it at some point. Although TLO is remaxing on Zerglings. Yeah. Now that's very interesting considering that he hasn't seen Colossus yet, but he knows Colossus tech is out. And I wonder what he's trying to accomplish here.
I think it's just the fact he wants more Infestors in his army. And when you go so Infestor heavy in this early game stage, when you go so Infestor heavy, you need to make sure that you're spending your money. So obviously you have a ton of minerals, you're going to spend it on Zerglings. Multi-pronged harassment, or I guess not harassment, but engagements. Top left-hand side base is going to go down 100%.
But over in the
these
center.
Drops. are actually getting mutilated. And now, I don't know how TL is going to be able to do this, Frodan.
Well, Oz has a good position, but the Stalkers are blinking for it as well. TL losing almost everything, and this is the power of just having such a strong Stalker core. GG, Oz able to defy the odds and win game number 2 with great positional play. And again, that unit composition from TLO was just... That's exactly what Oz wanted, because if there's no answer, because, you know, the whole idea is, well, he's not making Colossus. He's not making Colossus. He had a Robotics Bay. I guess I can make some Zerglings because I need to be safe. But when that one Colossus does come out, it's just, it still deals well with the Zerglings. Right. The power, though, is all in the Stalker Immortals. It was just so much DPS.
That's right. You know, TLO looked a little bit silly in that game, but I think it's the fact that he overestimated his advantage, as I think I would too. When you kill an opponent's third base and main base, you're like, please get out of my game. You shouldn't be here, right? Yeah. You're not thinking that they can actually make that much of an army. And that's why TLO on 2 occasions maxed out and went to attack the middle 4th base location of Protoss. And both those times it ended very poorly. Both times, Infestor energy was completely spent, and then TLO had to remax in something that he didn't want to remax in, which was Zergling Roach. It has kind of like a diminishing return, I think, as the game goes on, as Protoss supply gets higher. 140, 150 is when you can deal with a 200 Zerg army pretty effectively if it's only Zergling Roach. If I think TLO just backed off and played macro, he would have like the def win. Like there would be.
If you went up to Hive.
If you went up to Hive.
We were talking about how you were surprised he wasn't taking.
Even off of 3 base, you can go up to Hive, get your upgrades, get Spire Tech, get those Broodlords out, and all of a sudden Protoss is like, whoa, I have to back up, wait until I get Mothership. And by that time, I think you should already be attacking, because if you're reacting to Broodlords and saying I need to get Mothership, it's already too late.
Well, that's a wrap for game number 2. Thank you so much to Stamps.com for hassle-free postage from your PC. Go to nasl.tv/p/stamps for a special limited-time offer. Game number 3, the deciding match between TLO and Oz. What will happen? We still don't know, so come back and we'll maybe have a better idea.